What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing some work on the XR8. Basically, booked it in for a dyno tune this Saturday, so just getting a few loose ends tidied up. So yeah, first on the list of things to sort out is the exhaust. So obviously in the previous video when I was doing the headers, I did a bit of a rundown on what the exhaust system is on the ute. Basically it's dumped at the diff currently, which some dyno operators are a little bit reluctant to take on. Well, the dyno tuner that I've been to before was a little bit reluctant to do anything with the exhaust dumping under the car. So basically what I'm looking at doing is putting the tailpipe section back on. So this runs an X-Force twin 2.5 inch system, and it's just way too quiet on the XR8. So I'm going to put the tailpipe section back on and delete the muffler. So basically right now I'm out in the middle of 275 Mangere, however you want to pronounce it. Off to a place I usually get my parts, and it goes by the name of Star Parts or STA Parts, whichever way you want to call it. So I'll go out there, have a look, maybe catch up with one of the Usos that works there, and yeah, it'll get me some 2.5 inch piping, because I've basically run all out of 2.5 inch piping that I had at home. So yeah, for the most part the XR8 is fairly stock. Obviously I've done headers, exhaust, a few intake upgrades. So I've done a aftermarket airbox, Batten's Performance BPT power tube, which is a massive intake pipe from the airbox to the throttle body. Apart from that, it's more or less stock. Not anticipating massive gains, I just want to tidy up the tune a bit, maybe put a bit more timing into it and clean up the fueling, and yeah, we'll see how we go. So this is the place right here. This is where you get all your go fast parts and a lot of budget sort of parts as well. So yeah, that's Star Parts or STA Parts. Didn't want to go around the shop and start taking videos of their stuff that they have on display and whatnot, just in case somebody thought I was about to jack their shit or something. So yeah, we're not about that. We're not doing that today. But yeah, go check them out if you want. They've got some good stuff in store. A lot of go fast parts, your basic replacements, your performance parts and whatnot. So yeah, they got some good shit. So yeah, at the moment the exhaust on this ute exits under the car. So yeah, not sure if you can see that under there. Sounds pretty good. But we'll see if we can get it to exit at the back and still sound as good. So yeah, we're gonna get stuck into it. So up there is the rest of my exhaust. So I'm going to have to pull that down. Maybe climb on that 302 to jump on that 4-litre intake that's under there, to jump on the gearbox to maybe get the exhaust down. Bloody hell. Alright, this shit looks like a freaking gun, man. This is actually the X-Force tailpipe section for the ute. So between that muffler and the muffler that's currently on the car, it is almost a waste of time upgrading to this exhaust if you want any level of noise. It is so quiet, I've had to resort to taking the tailpipe section off and dumping it at the diff. So that's why it is what it is right now. So what I'm looking at doing is putting that tailpipe section back on. So essentially, mufflers have flanges that bolt onto the two flanges on these two pipes down here. I'm going to have to cut it about there, and if you can see right now the pipe goes there but then exits a little bit lower, so I'm going to need something that fills the gap between here and here. So I'm thinking at the moment, I was originally thinking of cutting it there, but the way this bends down here, maybe if I cut it there, I can run the pipe straight from there on that upward angle and meet up with that, maybe. So yeah, once I cut that muffler out, if you follow me, we're going to cut 2 sections of pipe here, here, take them over to there, get that welder welded on, take the whole exhaust, turn it sideways, and stick it straight up your candy ass. But yeah, that's basically the rundown. So we'll cut the muffler off, weld in some pipes. That's the plan. We'll see how far we get with it. We'll get the rear muffler cut out, we'll get the exhaust all mated up and everything. We'll run the current X-Force muffler that it does have just before the diff, but at least the tailpipe section will let it exit up the back. Yeah, we're going to get stuck into that now. Alright, because I'm not a fabricator, and I've pretty much just taught myself fucking everything that I know, I'm doing this a way that I think might be a good idea. So what I've done is I've just cut a bit of the stainless hangers off the old muffler setup. And what I'm thinking of doing is, because I'm going to be cutting it about here and here, there's going to be nothing holding this pipe together, or this pipe arrangement together. So what I'm thinking of doing is welding a brace, because all of this is going to be gone. Welding a brace in there just to hold the pipes in that sort of spacing. Obviously once they bolt up to the other flanges, that'll hold that side all good. And also probably do the same on here as well. So this has got a brace under here, because I'm going to be cutting it there. There's not really going to be anything holding these 2 pipes together, apart from when I weld in the replacement pipe for deleting the muffler. But I want something to hold these pipes in that sort of separation, so that the tips have that same sort of separation, because at the moment it actually looks pretty good. So yeah, if I weld something in there to hold them together, once I cut it there, that'll keep the spacing quite nice. So I just made this abomination. Fuck off. Anyway, it should sit like that. Buzz a couple of welds in there. Should look pretty professional for someone that's got no fucking idea what they're doing. So it's booked in for this coming Saturday morning for the dyno run. Today it's Wednesday, my day off conveniently, so I'll try and get as much done as I can today. I've got up nice and early today. It's about 7:30 right now, so basically what I'm looking at doing, we'll get the exhaust sorted first. I'll leave the X-Force muffler in place, I'll run the tailpipe section. I've actually got most of it all cut up in pieces right now, so what I'm planning to do this morning is head out to a local muffler shop, and I'll get them to flare some of the ends of the pipes up for me, basically so I can just make it a slip join. Makes it a little bit easier for me to weld it up, because I know there's going to be some funky looking angles, which I probably won't be able to just use with straight pipe doing butt welds. So I'll get them slip jointed, I'll come home, jack it up, try and dummy up the exhaust. Hopefully it all works. I'll weld it up and then that'll be sorted. Also need to fit up a catch can today. These Boss motors are notorious for bringing quite a lot of oil into the intake manifold. I think it's at high revs is what the problem is, from what I've been told at least. So I've got a catch can for it, so I'll see if I can hook that up today. I've also got an intake snorkel off an XR6 Turbo that this car doesn't actually have, that I want to put on to run in conjunction with the airbox. So right now the airbox just takes in air from behind the headlight area. on the B series, there's a hell of a lot of air that can actually come through the grill up over the radiator support panel and into the intake snorkel if it's fitted. So I'd like to chuck that in there as well. So yeah, if I can get all of that done today, yeah, might have a good chance at actually getting it all ready before Saturday, because it's booked in at 9 o'clock and I don't really want to be rushing last minute to try and get that all sorted. So we'll see what we can get done today. Like I said, got up nice and early, we'll make use of the day. It has been raining last night. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't rain during the course of the day, because then it's going to throw the plan out a bit. So yeah, we'll get stuck into it. Yeah, I'm hoping this exhaust works out nicely. If it doesn't, I'm going to be a bit pissed off, but we'll see. See how things go. Alright, so I just got back from my local exhaust guy, Mr. Muffler. Shout out to old mate Dean. I know he hooks up the boys usually. He hooked me up today, so basically he's flared these out just to make it a slip join, so these just pop straight onto the tailpipe section, and then obviously that will then go onto this section here, so this can get stuffed. So this has not actually worked out very well at all. Obviously we're in there at the moment. Wait for it. Holy hecker. So yeah, my calculated judgment has failed me epically today. So what I'm gonna have to do now is basically cut those little braces that I welded in. So if I cut that off, I'll cut that upper one off as well. I should be able to rotate these a little bit and bring them a little bit to the left. And then once they're in place, I can re-weld those just to sort of hold them together. So, decided to go staggered on this. So, can I help you? Obviously not. So yeah, so got the slip joins all sort of rigged up. Had to cut the joins between the two tips, mainly just so I can angle it differently and yeah, try and center them a bit better in the bumper, but at the moment it's not too bad. The gap there will get reduced a bit once I put the hangers in, and I'm going to try and put the hangers in a way that it pulls exhaust to the left side a little bit more, so it's actually not too bad at the moment, but it will be a lot better once it's all welded up and the hangers are in place. So with that being said, let's go grab the welder. I'll throw down a couple of high quality gasless MIG beads or slugs, whatever you want to call them, and then yeah, we'll pull this all off, do a final weld up, and then chuck it back on, and yeah, we'll see if we can rig up some hangers. Alright, so I got the exhaust all tacked up, just pulled it off the car. So yeah, we'll clean this all up and get this all welded up in one piece. And then yeah, I guess we'll bolt it back on again, make up some hangers, and then I'm done with this shit. Because I'm literally sick of doing exhaust work, man. It's a pain in the ass doing this shit on the ground, man. was an absolute shit show of a day. Finally got the exhaust done. Took way longer than I was expecting because of the rain on and off every 5 seconds, but got there in the end. Actually doesn't look too bad considering it's a real ghetto home job, but you know, it is what it is. So that's it at the moment. I still have to put one more hanger in here, but at the moment, like, the gap isn't overly bad. Yeah, once I put the other hanger in, it'll sort of bring it to about there, which is a bit better, but it's pretty much what we're looking at the moment. So it's all straight piped, so it's good. Obviously just the one big X-Force muffler in the center there, 2.5 inch piping all the way through, from the headers all the way back. So yeah, should do the trick. So yeah, still got a few other things to do before Saturday. I want to change the fuel filter, so I've got one of those here already, so I'll chuck one of these bad boys in. Fuel filter, I've got to put an intake snorkel in there as well, and I've got to do a catch can. If I run out of time, whatever, doesn't matter, I'll still get it tuned, but would be nice to get these things done before that day. So yeah, we'll get stuck into the next thing. Alright, so once I just changing the fuel filter now, nice and easy. So yeah, this is a pretty basic job. You've got a 14mm AF fitting over here, and then obviously got a 19mm hex on here on the actual filter body itself. So flare nut spanner, these are the best for it, so chuck that on there, and then you get a 19 or 3/4 open-ended spanner. I'll chuck that on there, and yeah, work it loose that way, just like that. And same on the other end as well. So, and if you're anything like me and you haven't depressurized the fuel system, be prepared to swim in fuel. Oh, it's not too bad. So yeah, sort of just have to maneuver the pipe out of the way, slide it through from the front, and yeah, wear a bit more fuel, and then yeah, chuck the new one in, tighten up your fittings bit by bit, and then yeah, nip the fittings up so they're tight, check that the lines don't leak, or the fittings don't leak once pressure builds up in the system, and good to go. Alright, so always check the new fuel filter for direction. Generally, you've got one side that says out, the other side should say in, or inlet, or something along those lines. Out you want facing the front of the car, in is obviously coming in from the fuel tank side. So yeah, slip that in, good to go. Yeah, all done. And there, generally just cycle the key to on a few times until the fuel pump builds some pressure in the lines, and then obviously just check under the car and make sure that the fittings on the fuel filter aren't actually leaking. In this case, perfecto. It's now Thursday. Yesterday we got the exhaust knocked out. Seemed to work alright. Tonight, literally just finished work about half an hour ago, so I just got home. Got to try and tackle what I can tonight actually, because I've only got another day, well, another night tomorrow night before it actually goes on the dynos. So I'll try and get what I can get done tonight. Anything I can't get done tonight, I'll try and finish tomorrow. So basically tonight I want to try and start getting the catch can fitted up, hopefully get it all fitted up. It's about 10 PM currently, so I don't want to be making too much noise, but yeah, if I can get it installed tonight, get it all hooked up and everything, that'll be a good bonus. I've had the intake manifold apart before, and there was a little bit of oil at the bottom, which is pretty typical of the Boss motors. So yeah, we've bought this. So we got a catch can, This one's baffled as well, as you can see. It's got little chambers and whatnot. Still not sure where this is exactly going to be positioned, but sort of hoping to the left of the brake booster when you're looking at the front of the car. There's a little bit of a gap there on the left hand side, so if I can get this installed in that area, it makes it nice and short for routing the hose in line with the PCV valve before it links back into the intake manifolds. Alright, so that's the catch can itself. It's actually a nice, decent quality unit. They do come with fittings, obviously little O-rings and whatnot, spare screws for mounting purposes and that sort of thing. I went ahead and bought the bigger fittings separately. Didn't actually realise that the factory PCV hose or line is actually really small, so I'm probably going to use the smaller fittings. These have a stupidly small hole, but they've actually got quite a bit of wall thickness in there, so I might actually drill these out a bit bigger because the next size fitting up is a little bit too big for the hose I bought, which is 3/8 or about 9 to 10 mil. So I'll probably use these. Like I said, I'll drill them out, and then yeah, we'll get that hooked up. Still not sure how I'm going to mount this exactly. Obviously it's got this mounting bracket here, but I'll need to make some sort of bracket in the engine bay for this to actually bolt to. So yeah, I'll have a bit of a think and see what I can come up with. So in terms of position, I'm actually thinking of just mounting it somewhere here. That's the PCV valve there on the driver's side valve cover, and that's the hose there, or pipe, that links back up to the intake manifold. What I was looking at doing is cutting this line just here, rotating this fitting 180 so that the hose comes back this way. It's going to go from this fitting into the catch can, and then from the catch can out back to here, so it just loops in. Should be able to rotate that. Yep, so I can rotate that there, move that up a little bit. Alright, so this is Friday night, technically Saturday morning, it's just after midnight. So obviously I've got Dyno today, probably in about 9 hours. XR8 should be on the rollers, hopefully making some noise. Last thing on the list of things to do was to finish off the intake side of things. So I've taken out the airbox for some quick modifications. What I was looking at doing is running the XR8 or XR6 turbo snorkel, just so it's got a bit of airflow coming up from around the grill area. Yeah, so I've taken the airbox out. At the moment I'm drilling a big hole in it. I think it's about 80 mil hole saw, banging a hole through the side of it. I'll show you what I got. So basically that's the airbox there, just banging a hole in the side of it. I've got a 3-inch joiner here that I'm just going to basically slip that through that hole once it's drilled. And then I've got this snorkel as well, so basically it'll take air in from behind the headlight area, and then I've got this as well, which is like a secondary, or whichever way you want to look at it. This will be allowing a bit more air through to the airbox from a different position at least. So drill that hole in, hopefully it's in the right spot for this joiner. Hopefully that joiner there will be able to go through there. I'll chop it down so that it can actually fit into the back of that intake snorkel. So yeah. So yeah, today we're out heading to Tune Technic to get this XR8 on the dyno. So fingers crossed it all goes well. Yeah, I guess they'll run it up, see what sort of power it makes, and then tweak the tune a bit and see what improvements they can do. So yeah, it should be interesting. Hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit of footage. So, first impressions of the tune. Pretty happy. Listen to this. Holy shit! Ah, there's a hell of a lot of popping and crackling in this thing. God damn. Sounds gnarly. So yeah, all in all, pretty happy with how the tune went. I've long been a complainer of the Boss 260 being an absolute slug, especially in the low to mid-range. As it sort of gets to like 3,500–4,000 RPM, generally that's when it starts to wake up, but then it's all over at like 5,500 RPM where it's getting close to its rev limit from factory. So with all that being said, I didn't really have a massive expectation of it making a lot more power in the upper revs. I was thinking there would be a lot more gains to be had in the mid-range. Sure enough, yeah, that actually was. It didn't really bother me too much in terms of power figure, but I was actually surprised it actually made 230, or just shy of 230 kilowatts at the wheels. I was honestly thinking it would have been around the 215, 220 maybe. But considering it's got headers, full exhaust, a few intake mods and that sort of thing, yeah, I guess it's a reasonable number. To know that this one's got about 260,000 Ks on the clock and it can still do around 230 kilowatts at the wheels, or 300-ish horsepower at the wheels, reasonably happy. Realistically, it's bugger all for a car in this day and age, but you know, it's still got to be realistic. It is quite an old car now, so yeah. So here's the dyno sheet here. There's a power curve, and here's the torque curve. So as you can see in this midsection here, that is where the bulk of the gains were made, and it definitely feels that way on the street as well when you're driving it. It's a lot more lively around the 3,000 to 4,000 mark. It's very punchy compared to what it was before, so it's actually a lot more fun to drive. You can sort of see as well, it's made gains across the board. It's made a hell of a lot more in the mid-range than it has anywhere else though, so it's yeah, it's all usable power there. Interesting thing which I really liked about this tune was the peak torque. So it went up about 50 newton meters, but it's also come in about 600 RPM lower, so it's pretty much the bulk of the gains that it's made. It's all been usable on the street, so yeah, quite impressed with that. Did have a little bit of a hiccup though. Basically I got a little bit too happy on the gas pretty much all weekend after getting it tuned, and I might have hurt the top end a little bit possibly. Basically it wants to rev, well, it wants to get up in the revs a lot quicker now, so yeah, I was doing a couple of second gear pulls, third gear pulls on some quiet back roads, sticking to the speed limit as you do, and it's developed a little bit of a top end rattle, which I'm not sure exactly what it is. I haven't had a chance to actually pull anything down and check, but it definitely is top end valve train related. So I'm assuming probably lash adjuster might have been just showing a bit of its age. Hopefully nothing too major though. So I'll pretty much end the video on that note. Probably in the next one we'll do a bit of a tear down. I'll pull the valve covers off and that sort of thing, see if we can pinpoint where this noise is actually coming from, and then yeah, we'll see if we can get onto getting this thing fixed and back up and running again normally. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully that was somewhat entertaining. Hopefully next video will be up soon on this. I am falling a little bit behind in trying to get content at the moment. It's just, yeah, busy, hectic life and all that shit. So see if we can get stuck into this XR8 a little bit more. I would like to do a bit more work on it, but at the same time it's starting to get expensive now. So yeah, stay tuned. Thanks again for watching. Catch you on the next one.